Okay, so for this 2x4x6 box, that's isometric view, I'm going to basically start off the same way that we typically do my borders, add 1/4 of an inch, I do my title block right down there, and then I take my ruler and I do lines diagonally from one side to the other to find the center of my workspace, and I mark a little X in there so I know exactly where it is. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is a 30-degree angled line downwards at 1/2 of my length. So I know that my length is going to be 6 inches. So I need my measurement to be for this line 3 inches. So I'm going to take my T-square, push it up against the side of my table. That way I know it's at 0 degrees. I'm going to take my triangle and with the top of it against the T-square, making sure that this is at 0 degrees. And then now I know for a fact that this angle right here will be 30. I will take my pencil, ensure that everything is where it needs to be. Mark it up there with the center of my line. And from here, I'll do what I think is going to be 3 inches. I think that's about close, probably a little bit too long, but I think it's fine. And I'll come in here and I will mark it. 3 inches is going to be right here, so I was about 1 inch off. So I will come in and I will erase just like that. Next, I will do 30-degree angle line going the opposite direction. So now I need my ruler or my triangle to be flipped, and from there I'm going to go down, and it should be 4 inches. So I'll go down like that. That should be all right. And from here, I will measure it. So if it's 4 inches, I need it to be only 2. So I'm going to come in here because my width is 4 inches. That should be 2 inches right there. I can erase that line. And from here, I need to go completely vertical. And this one's gonna be easy enough. I go completely vertical. I have my T-square against the bottom of my table, and I go down. The height is 2 inches, so I'm just gonna go down 1 inch because I need 1/2 of my measurement. And I'm gonna measure up 1 inch. And that has me right here. So I can go ahead and make my line from this point up. And here's where the beginning of my drawing is going to be, right there at that little arrow, okay? So I can come in now, I can erase all this. I don't need any of that. And I will come in and begin with my guidelines. So I will go first from here. I'm gonna come in nice and light, just like that. So I have my vertical line. I'm gonna come across the bottom of that point right there. Oh, I moved up a bit without noticing. I'm gonna erase that really quick. There we go. So you wanna make sure that you're looking every time and not making a mistake like I just did. So there we go. Now it's at the bottom of my guideline there, and from here I'm going to go with a 30-degree angle. I'm going to come down a little bit to about there, and so going this way, that's my length. It's going to be 6 inches, so I have to make sure that I'm drawing my line out enough. So it's 30 degrees is going to be this line right here, but it needs to be 6 inches because this is my length now. So that's going to be my length. That's probably more than 6 inches. That's fine. I will flip it around, and now I will do my width, which is going to be 4 inches. So from here, I'm going to go, I think is probably going to be 4. That's probably all right. Now what I can do is I'll come in, and I will make sure my measurements are correct. From here to there, oh, look at that, I'm about like 3/16 off, 2/16 off. So right there, I'm gonna come in and erase a little bit that I had extra. So that point's good right there, and then 4 inches on this side, which, oh, wowee, look at that, absolutely perfect. What a good guess. I'm glad I have this recorded for evidence. Now I will do my height, which is going to be completely vertical. So I will go here, and as long as my T-square is completely against the table here, and I can put my triangle on top, I know that this line right here is going to be 90-degree angle, so I know this is going to be perfectly vertical, and that's more than 2 inches, but that's fine. And I will do the same thing down here, so I can mark it off. Make sure I have it lined up. For this one, you don't even need to make a second line because you already have your guideline there, so you could just measure 2 inches for yourself. I think that's fine. Looks like I almost have like 2 lines there, so I want to come in here nice and light. I'm going to erase that. I'm going to try that again. Pencil on my mark right here where those lines meet, and I'll just go up. There we go. A bit neater. Now I'll come in on this side as well. I need my 2 inches up here against the table, and then I will go up nice and light. I assume that'll be 2 inches. And I will come in here and I will measure. So this is 2 inches right on that dot. I'll mark it. Now I'll come in and I will erase. This is 2 inches right on this dot. Come in and erase the extra. And lastly, I'll come down here and 2 inches right there. And I can erase up over that if I'd like. So that should be fine. All right, and from here, what I can do is I'll come here with my ruler, and I need a 30-degree angle line going up, right? It needs to be parallel with this bottom line, and these lines that are going this way, these are my width, so I need it to go 30-degree angle, and it needs to be 4 inches, which honestly, if you do your measurements correct, you shouldn't even need to measure. You should just be able to connect from point to point. But I'm going to do it anyway, and it looks like from that point there to that point there, it's perfectly on my 30-degree angle line. I'll measure it to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes yet. From there to there, exactly 4 inches, so I've made that line correct. I'll do the same thing now on this side. All right, so line them up from there to here. Perfect 30-degree angle, and I'll measure it exactly 6 inches. And I'll do that line one more time, but I'm going to do it over on this side. So now, same thing, 30-degree angle. I'm going to go up. I don't want to exit my workspace, so I'm going to stop that right there. And I'm going to measure to 6 inches, which looks like I need to go a little bit further. So I'll mark 6 inches right there. I'll come back in. Make sure it's 30 degrees. I'll come all the way up. That should be 6 inches right there. All right. And make sure my lines are nice and neat. Make sure I'm not going over in any points. Now, last line I'm making is another 30-degree angle line. It should be from this point to the one I just made. So from there to there, it should be about perfect. And it should measure out to be 4 inches, right? So that's that. I can come in now and make my hidden lines. So I can come in here. I have my table against there. So I know that this is going to be perfectly vertical, even if I have my ruler against it. Push my ruler against the side right there. And I will go down to this point, and I will just take a dotted line. All right, looks like there we go. I will do the same thing. I could connect from just the bottom of that line to my corner here, and it should be perfect. I'm going to double check my work at all times, so I'm just going to take my triangle, and it should match up from that bottom corner exactly to the bottom of my dashed line. And to keep my line straight, I'm just going to keep my ruler there, and I will come across there we go. Nice and light. It's almost like you guys can really barely see it on the screen. I'll have to increase my contrast on the image. And then last but not least, I will come in and do the final one from the bottom of that dashed line to the corner here. I'll go a little bit darker. Hopefully you can see this one. All right, so we can see that one. I'm gonna do that last line, or that, not that last line, but the second to last line one more time so we can make sure we see it. So from there to the corner. All right, so that should be exactly what we're looking for here. And I can come in now, make sure all my lines are erased. So I have some line for my horizontal, for my guidelines that are still here. My X's are still here. Make sure those are all gone. Coming down here, erase my horizontal guideline. I don't need that anymore. Make sure my arrow is gone. Come in here and clean up a line. You could use a ruler if you'd like to make sure it's even better. Right, and now I have 6 inches this way, 4 inches that way, and 2 inches for my height. And now I have my hidden sides as well. So this is a hidden side, this is a hidden side, and the bottom obviously is hidden. And we have our top here, front left, front right. Okay.